So welcome back to your second session of Classic Traveler. As we said last time, it's been 5 years since the Battle of Rylanor. And you are above a planet on a space station, above a planet named Flammarion, in a place called the Spinward Marches, which is not technically in the Imperium anymore. It's out on its frontier beyond its border. And Startown Liberty is it's kind of like a Vegas kind of place. And I don't know the story. Maybe we can figure out this later. But you all have worked together as travelers for 5 years now. And something went wrong. And if you had a ship, it's wrecked and gone. And you don't have one. One of you has a contact in the Scout Services. Probably whoever will be the group caller for next time. Which I would guess right now would probably be Matthew. If that's okay. Let's see, your background is that you were a private in the Marines. So maybe they were also a private in the Marines. And then they went on and were successful in their career and went on to the Scout Services and stuff from there. And they just stayed in, but went into a different branch transfer. You have a contact with a job. Now, you guys can't meet with that contact yet. In fact, I'm going to rewind the clock and say this is 2 weeks before that meeting. And you know, you have some information that's come in that you know this guy's coming in and you need some help with something. So you're hoping you can get that job contract. But you got about 2.5 weeks.
So we just have a contact. We don't know why or how or what, but we know he's got a job and that's why we're meeting him.
Well, I'll give you some info about him if you want. But this will happen next week, you know.
Is our setup for what's going to come next time. And either way, this might inform what we do today. Is there an expectation that we're going to have our own starship for whatever job he's teased for us?
That's a good point, right? Like, so this is a yeah, I mean, this could inform your decisions today because this is a government guy. And if you start going around town and making the government mad, it might make it hard to get the job. That's a good point. I'll tell you his name. His name is Anders Kasarai. Now, Matthew, I didn't get your character's name, so I might just say Matthew tonight. But
Dex.
Oh, okay, I'll put Dex as in DEX.
Yep.
All right, Dex. I'll put it right there in the front. All right, so Dex, you were in the Marines and you served with Anders Kasarai, who was at the time Private Anders Kasarai, and you guys were battle buddies. You knew each other really well. And you had each other's back all the way up to the end when you got separated and integrated into that weird task force assignment in that drop battalion.
So he wasn't there?
He was in the battle, but he wasn't in your squad. So, but you know him really well. Well, he went on, and he's a bit older than you, but he's enlisted in the Marines, and he went on for the next few years and stayed in the service, branch transferred into the Scouts. And I guess Anders Kasarai is doing pretty good because he's the director of the Scout Services here at Flammarion Highport, Startown Liberty. So he's maybe a big deal. And you know that there are job contracts that are due out. Now, generally you would compete for these government contracts, but you know him personally. So all you can do is hope. And these scout contracts are things like go and scout this planet, go and investigate this. That's what the Scout Service does. But they're looking for independent contractors like you all. To answer the question, will you get a ship? We'll see. But in the meantime, you don't have one. So it's 2.5 weeks, you think, before Anders is going to make it in, okay? Here are some options tonight, and then you can do none of these options and do something totally different. You can do whatever you want, and I'll just try to be like, all right, I'll figure it out. It might take me a second to generate what you're seeing if you choose something crazy. But here are some options for you. Okay, so you're here at Startown Liberty. As soon as you step off the boat in the docks, Startown Liberty smells like urine and alcohol and cheap perfume and fried food, all in just one thing in your nostrils. And it's just a cacophony of lights and music that doesn't line up and people talking and crowds. It's just like a cheap Vegas. And there are casinos which you can go to. And in fact, and don't worry, I won't make you pay 2.5 weeks worth of bills for that. That doesn't seem fair. But whatever you do tonight, you'll have to pay for, including staying at hotels. But the hotels you'd stay at in Startown Liberty have casinos where you can gamble. You can go to the bars. Now, bars in the Fringe, what's called the Fringe, which the sector you're in, the Spinward Marches, is in the Fringe. That is to say, it's off on the frontier, the edge of the Imperium. Bars are crucial, because that's where jobs are found, and business is made, and information is found. So you can go to different bars, see if you can pick up information. Another option is you can take a work shuttle, because as soon as you step off the shuttle and you make it through customs, which, by the way, you can only have either a pistol or a blade. You can't have shotguns, carbines, anything bigger than a pistol. And you shouldn't have any bulky body armor on. But as soon as you pass through customs and you check everything, you explain why you're here and everything, you get to the admin offices, you see a notice that's displayed. It's projected out from the admin office. Different things for work. And you see a notice for a company looking for contract workers to take a shuttle through jump space for a week and go to Koenig's Rock in a system over and do asteroid belter work. So those are some options.
All right. Now, of course, our crewmates Cleon and Jackson are preoccupied with whatever business they have between work right now. But the three of us, does anybody have anything that's jumping out to them that they're really eager to try?
I mean, I would say, we are going to have a job lined up, but it doesn't hurt to kind of scope out and, see if maybe there's anything else on the horizon after that or something that we could do today. So I don't know. I guess that's a long-winded way of saying bars is appealing to me at this point.
What about decks? What are you thinking, Matthew?
I don't know the place, so it might be a good idea to go and take a walk around and see what's there.
Our game master, referee, did say we could come up with something else, and my go-to option is always to propose a heist. However, it would not surprise me if there is a long history of Chapman's crewmates declining his many attempts at getting them to do a heist. So, unless I can talk you into it, I actually do like the idea of going on a bar crawl. I think that is great carousing adventure. We can get into some trouble. I also just like the idea of gathering a lot of info and lore in the early campaign right now. I agree with your thinking there, Andrew, that we want to get the lay of the land, or rather the cosmos, early on. I think is going to pay us off later. So, heist, bar crawl. What do you say?
Well, we can go to the bars and see if we see an opportunity for a heist.
You're thinking with your noggin right there. That's why we pay you the big bucks. As soon as we get that contract, as your crew captain, I'm going to negotiate a higher pay rate for you, because that right there is the kind of initiative that I like to see in this team.
That sounds great.
I think we're going to hit the bar scene.
All right, so the currently you just pass through customs. You see the job board that some of the companies have put up to display need for work. You also see all kinds of advertisements for things. The advertisements kind of, you get a sense that there are kind of two main places of interest. One is that there is a bar here. Actually, I keep forgetting it's, and I apologize. I was a little bit slow last time to get info because I have a lot of info. So like if I tell you something, it is tied to the world. Like it's something that's going on. So let me see.
Are you guys all logged into the server? The
Foundry?
What'd you call it?
They are. It looks like. Yeah.
Can you send me a link?
Oh, sorry. Maybe I messed that up. I'm sorry.
It appears as though one of our players is Squints, which, you know, I say that we reserve a permanent slot to honor the memory of Squints.
He's back.
I did send it to you, Matthew. Yeah, it's a direct message. I sent it to you.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, I just took that because it asked you what character, so I'm like, it's Squints forever. What's that?
But you were saying basically two kinds of attractions, bars and...
Yeah, I'm going to... Well, actually, let me ask the question first, and then I'll search for the info that I need if it comes up. You have as you come in past the customs office and the customs area, and you go through security, and then you have like admin offices on the front end of the starport, and then you've got like the starport authority, and then you can see the hangar where everybody can kind of land, at least on this section. There are a couple of other places people can land, but this is like the main commercial area. From there is actually a bar right here. It looks like low-level government functionaries blow steam there, like people that work the customs offices. Now, these are all locals. That's how everything works in the Imperium. But they're locals with Imperial uniforms on, and they're like low-level. You're not going to find like a... Well, you might actually, but I don't know either what you'll find in there, but it's a bunch of government lackeys. And then you can see advertisements, and that's for the tourist traps that are further in. All of the casinos and bars and restaurants and everything to blow money. And that's its own other kind of section. So that's the first thing, is do you want to try to stay close to the admin offices and talk to like merchants and government people, or do you want to go talk to like the crews that are on shore leave, and tourists and locals and other travelers and stuff like that?
Valuable lore about the galaxy is going to come from interacting with spacers. However, tourist traps mean that there are easy marks.
Yeah.
Well, if there are officials around, and we may be going to do this job in the asteroid belt, the officials may have some information of what's going on in the local system that we can take advantage of while we're on our trip to the asteroids, if we do that.
I'm also thinking that a low-level, government worker might be disgruntled and might be willing to kind of share some pertinent information that could help us, especially if there's alcohol involved. We might be able to hear something.
We're looking for a disgruntled government worker.
All right.
Yes, it shouldn't be too hard to find.
I think it's agreed we're going to go to the Starports bar.
All right. Let me find this reference I need for this real quick.
Is there a name for the bar?
Travelers?
Yeah, there is a... that's why I have to...
Look the name up?
Yeah. This. Oh wait, that's not even what I wanted. Give me just a second. Computer's slow. All right. It's called the Starhaven Tavern. And it has one of those kind of cutesy, bright-colored retro, like, you know, Starhaven, and then it has a star, and that's over top of the entrance to the place.
Like Las Vegas.
Yeah, and inside it is not crowded, but let me see who you'd find in here. I have to roll some checks. Okay.
A little garish, of course. It's the future. What is the point of doing star theming for your restaurant or your bar?
Yeah.
This is sounding very Andor to me.
Andor's a great touchstone for this stuff too. That's a good one. I'm just checking. So there are a couple things that you notice when you come in here. The first thing is that, must have come at a different time than the other crew. Okay. It's not crowded. The bar sits on two tiers. So you have like a floor level where there's a dance space and no one's dancing because, I don't know, these aren't dancing type folks. And then there's seating areas where people eat and drink, and you've got a bar. And then you've got an upper area, I guess you call it a promenade, but it's not separate. It's just like a terrace. You go up onto it. It's not very far. It's right there. You can see it. And then an interesting feature of this bar is that it has a big pane where you can see the landing pads with the ships coming in and out, departing and coming and going. It's probably the prettiest part of the bar is the fact that you can see ships come and go and see their fusion drives light up. You know, is probably the fun part of the bar. And you see a few people here. Two of them, I would say, of note, are two different kind of crowds that are sitting and eating or drinking here. One of them is very finely dressed. And the peculiar thing is that they're drinking by themselves. The other group that's very strange is a group of 5 Vargr, the dog people. And they are being very loud and very flamboyant. And they're dressed very loudly and flamboyantly too. Like they like these bright colors and everything. And there's 5 of them sitting and just having a good time.
So you need to tell me about Vargr because I don't know if they like mix with other races or if, you know, what the local attitude is and all that sort of thing.
I proudly fought alongside Vargr soldiers in the Battle of Rylanor, and I sent them to the front lines.
You do know that you served with 2 in the Battle of Rylanor. Apart from that, something that will often happen in this is if I don't tell you know something, you just don't know it. Like it's not something like, would your character know this, or you do your roll to know this? It'd be very rare for me to do that. Sometimes I will, but for the most part, your character is as mystified by this right now as you are, and knows as much as you do.
Okay.
So I would say I'm sorry. I would say that we kind of have an in with the Vargr. I mean, just by the fact that, you know, we did serve with at least 2 of them. So if we wanted to use that to our advantage and kind of use that as like a talking point, we could. don't know if it's the best idea, but just throwing that out there.
I think one of them shot me. so I'm not. So I have to check. See, I'm not sure exactly which one it was. But was that the case?
There is a. You're not sure. This is my memory of the event.
I don't remember it very well because.
Right.
It's not here.
What I recall
I'm suspicious.
is you looked up and you thought they shot you, but then you looked further out and then you saw them shooting back at someone else, and then them shooting back, and you know that there was a fratricide incident, but you never heard back from the Vargar. So I think it's a question mark. I think you don't really know.
Yeah,
that.
I'm not so sure about it. I'm willing to say that like there was a lot of shooting going on. So as far as that goes, But yeah, so I'm not so too keen about the Vargar right now. But if you guys want to go and take a look and talk to him, I'll go with you.
All right. I'm gonna be incredibly gregarious. As a group, we're just gonna go right up to the Vargar. I'm gonna call for a round for everyone and ask what we're celebrating today.
All right. Let's see.
I'm going to stand around kind of uncomfortably, trying to look like I'm, like at ease, but I'm really not.
What's your socials score?
Me?
No.
All of us.
Alex.
Alex.
7.
A 7. All right, that's not bad. Roll 2d6. Let's see how they react.
I got a total of 4.
Oh no. Okay. So you do that and you come up and you're like, hey, what are we celebrating? And then they keep laughing and chittering. Some of them ignore you. Two of them kind of whisper and chitter to each other. But one of them raises up and he comes over and he kind of towers over you and puts his hand on his hips. And he's like, do you have something to celebrate? And he bumps chests with you like that, and just like bumps into you and knocks you backwards a little bit.
All right. Now I am, of course, a secure enough person that I wouldn't be tempted into this sort of aggressive engagement. However, Chapman is gonna have to respond in kind, although he's a little more charming about it, I hope. He's gonna say something to the effect of like, I just was feeling the excitement in the air. All of us free spirits getting to travel the stars. Why not let the liquor flow a little bit? Unless you can't hold your liquor, that is. I didn't know if you were, if that's something that you have trouble with personally, but the rest of us here. Can I egg him on into a drinking contest?
Yeah, if you egg him on, he actually it's not one of, so everybody, you notice all the other Vargar now are watching this one Vargar. And when you kind of like stand your ground and like egg him on back and don't just like apologize or walk off or anything, then he laughs and then like they invite you over and yeah, he's like, let's see.
All right. Let's hope that my 12 in endurance is going to come through for me. Hopefully that's relevant.
Yeah, so let's see here. So here's how I think I would rule a drinking contest, because I've seen a similar thing like this where you in this game you have like the median and then you have like a bust on either end. So I think that what it would be is to make it through a drink, you have to go 2d6 under your endurance, but if you roll a 12, then you just pass out, and we're going to lose a certain amount of time, and you'll lose face with the Vargar. But if you get snake eyes, then I'll say that you can get 2 drinks, but you have to pay for the drinks too. But I will also roll for the Vargar.
Got it.
That's his, I was just checking his endurance. All right. And he throws a drink back, no problem.
I got a 7. Should be fine.
All right. Is everybody else getting things to eat and drink at the bar, or are you going to just wait and see how this goes? This might take. This will take a full. I'll say this takes an hour. This takes because you got a little bit of socializing on both ends and coming in, scoping it out, and this and that. So, are you going to eat here, or are you going to wait?
I want to remind you, as your crew captain, your standing orders are to gamble on the outcome of any of my irrational activity whenever it takes place.
Yeah, I like that idea. I think I go up to one of the Varger and I put down 100 on Chapman to win this thing.
Nice gambling. All right, let's see here.
Okay, I'll do the same.
My boys here have watched me drink wolves under the table before.
Are you guys
That's
eating?
right.
Are you guys eating and drinking here, or are you? Well, in fact, actually, a server comes by, and you notice when they come by now. And actually, let me look. Let's see here. We got a 3, 4. This is a well-dressed older man who is trying to act as like probably the manager on duty for the whole place right now. You see that he's come over from the well-dressed person by themselves. And you can see on his face the look of trepidation with the Varger, because the Varger are not fitting in this place. Like, they're loud and obnoxious and everything. And then they see a group of, like, scummy travelers come in. Travelers, you guys are like sailors of old, right? Like, the world needs you, but people don't want you around. So he comes over and he's like, would anyone like anything else to eat or drink, or is there anything I can do to make you comfortable?
I order something weird.
Oh, okay.
I would rephrase it that way as well. Give me your weirdest drink.
Yeah, what do you say?
I like the octopus in the thing, or like, like the thing that with the stuff coming off of the top or whatever.
I see. You would like one of our imports then. Let me see what they could get in from nearby. Let's see here. We do have some seafood that we bring in from Squalia. Some ships bring it in. It matches the description if that's what you're interested in. We can boil some of it.
Does it move?
It currently moves. Would you like us to change that or keep it the same?
However it's best. I think I'll take it. This, however, what's the most suitable?
I see, sir.
What's considered best?
I think the chef's preference would be that it not move anymore.
Okay, that's fine with me.
I see. Would anyone
I'm fine
else
with moving or without? It doesn't matter.
Would anyone else like anything else to eat or drink?
I'm going to refrain just in case this whole thing goes sideways. I want to have my wits about me. So even though I would love to drink right now, I'm going to hold off and just kind of watch and see what happens.
I appreciate that. And I will not be eating because that would be unsporting, I imagine.
So since you said you're watching, of note, I will make it so that you will not be surprised in this instance. So there's a mechanical benefit to that in the encounter process. So I want to always break the, I want to always point those things out, but I want you all to know So, okay, so one person orders food. You notice when the waiter goes away that he kind of keeps an eye on you all. He's obviously very nervous with what's going on. I apologize. Now, back to what's happening. So you're betting with some of the Varger. They eagerly get in on it. So it's 200. And they raise up the pot because there's a bunch of them. And they just had a haul where they took on a contract from here and they're about to blast off with a bunch of stuff. So, and they brought some stuff in. So, you'll get 2-to-1 odds against the human here. What did you get on your roll? I didn't hear it. I'm sorry.
Me?
Yeah.
The first round, I got 7.
Is that under your endurance?
It is.
Very nice.
My endurance is 12.
Oh, nice. You're able to throw back a drink, no problem. He throws back a drink, no problem. And he orders another one.
All right, I'll match him.
All right.
All right. I got a 9.
A 9. So all you have to do is not get a 12. He drinks another one, and you can see that it's starting to affect him. But he throws that down and orders another one. This is all
I asked if he
over
could
an
use
hour.
a bowl of water right about now. I don't know if he's
Yeah,
he's looking okay over there.
He looks back at you a little woozy. He's like, "What? You need a banana?" Let's keep going. He's sweating.
I am openly entertained at this. I enjoyed the banter. I don't know if he's actually aggressive or insecure, but I live for this. So,
Yeah, so the great thing about him is you can see every emotion on his face, and he's loving it. The more you push back on him and like being like, "No, I'm not going anywhere," the more he likes you. Like the
all right,
so, yeah.
I'm going for round 3.
All right, yep.
I got a total of 5.
A 5. He's still going. I should add some. I'm going to start subtracting 1 to him.
You wanna?
Because you have a 12, so I feel like that ought to mean something. But here's round 4. Oh, he almost got his snake eyes, so he almost got 2 drinks.
Round 4.
This is amazing in a bad way.
Right,
but this is these are not well-adjusted people. Like this is.
I got a 10. I got a 10 for round 4. It's pretty close.
That's close.
So after that one, I throw my head back and I howl like a wolf.
The waiter comes over as you throw your head back, and you almost hit him as he takes this steaming, weird tentacle thing and puts it on the table, and is just looking at you all and sighs, and then leaves. And this is what, 5?
I think it is round 5.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it 12?
I got snake eyes.
Okay.
I don't know if is that good, that bad?
So I'm dropping his score because you have a 12. So he's still going, but you can do the next one for free. You don't have to even roll. So
Gotcha.
This is 6, and he's on 7. He almost got snake eyes, and that is actually where he drops. So you have to not roll a 12, and then on the 7th one, he's out.
All right. Oh, it'd be so funny if we get the same. Like we both drop at the same time. All right, I got an 8. We're fine.
All right, yeah.
Nice.
He drops 7 drinks with.
I'm a good sport. I want to order around for all of his boys and my guys, obviously. You guys too.
40, 50, 60. You're looking at about 120 credits for all this.
Did I got to pay in for everything?
Yeah, if you're ordering everybody's drinks and stuff. Order, Captain.
You want me to be keeping track of that in the Traveler Roleplay channel?
Just, well, I'll tell you what. Be honest, I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. But what I have been doing is I note it down. This is actually the most. This is our version of tracking torches in this game. Like this is the most important thing is money. So I'm keeping a note, and then I put it in the VTT later, and I check it. And you should probably check. Of course, keep your own notes. Like don't let me mess it up because I might get it wrong. Okay, so yeah, you had 7 drinks with the Vargar captain and the crew. They all love you all now. Like they love you all, and they're just like talking about how they got a contract out of here with a local food company, a snack company, and they actually got free snacks out of it too. So they got free rations for their crew, and they've got their own tramp freighter with a contract with people in the Extents. And they mentioned that. Actually, let me get a name.
And how much? Sorry, how much did I make off this? By the way, off the betting.
Oh yeah.
We both bet 100.
So you got 100 credits. 2 to 1. No, but that's the pool, right? So like 2 to 1 odds. So they did 104, 400, 200. So you made 200 credits. Because you two were the ones betting. Yeah, you each got 200 credits. There's like
All
5 of them. Yeah.
I'm gonna throw 75 to Chapman because he was the one drinking to help cover some of the food and everything. You're very welcome.
Yeah, how much did he spend?
You said 120, right?
120 credits, yeah.
Yeah, we'll both do that. Then we'll pay half and half.
Nice.
Gotcha.
Okay, yeah. So there's a female here, and she's got like colored beads in her mane, and like on her fur and stuff, and on parts of her face, and she's got a brightly colored scarf. They seem to love scarves, and they got like colored bands. They just really like brightly colored stuff. And she says, "That was really something you drank. You drank Captain Noika under the table. No one's done that in years. That's great. Most of your kind, most of your kind are pretty uptight."
Hey, well, like I said when we introduced ourselves, every day you live the life of a traveler is a day we're celebrating. Am I right?
That's
yeah,
right.
they cheer. Yeah, and they salute you. And she says, "My name's Oxka, and this is like a
You
mix."
say ox cart?
Ox.
You'll have to forgive my friend. He's been drinking. He's been drinking a little bit.
They chitter, and do that dog noise thing when they kind of with their throat, and they think that's hilarious. And she says, "Yeah, we have a contract with Furnock. We've got an old human tramp freighter named Pyrrhus, and things are going great. We've got a contract with a company here. It's a local company, and they make a snack product. And we've got an exclusive contract where we ship it out, and then when we're out, and I'll tell you a secret here. If you're ever low on money, you can always go to Bowman. Now, there's pirates and wars, there's an impending war fighting between the corporations and the Belters and stuff, so it's a good idea to try to keep your freighter, if you're using a freighter, in between a couple of rocks so that you can try to get behind it. But if you can prospect, all you got to do is find one ice rock, and this baby over here, this old human ship Pyrrhus, she can carry 40 of them. So we come in with that, either in Koenigs or come back here to Flammarion and sell that ice water. Sell that money, make a good 250,000 credits, pay off our bills, and then we're out here drinking. It's the life. I tell you, it's the life.
I don't know, like, working for the snack industry sounds like it might be better than government contract work.
I
Who would have thought?
Question: why is it always called a snack item? Like, it's nothing specific, but it's like snack item. So like,
yeah. Well, they put one up on the table, and it's a bag of snacks, and it's called Snark, and it looks like
what's it called?
Yeah, like. What's that soda, Surge, where it's just like really bombastic. It's like Snark, and it's on the package, but it's these little tangly noodle things, and it's basically churro ramen. Both churro, it's ramen but made of churros.
Oh, okay.
The snack ramen but made of churros.
Well, that would definitely be a snack item.
This is just a note in general for later, but we should get a sponsorship deal at some point.
Yeah, and she says as much. She's like, "Of course you should. Aren't you all travelers?"
Yeah, I mean, historically we mostly do kind of wholesale trading and everything like that. But I never thought about the branding aspect.
We work for a company called Krfurkanak, and it's like this mix of throat sounds, dog throat sounds and stuff. And
yeah, I think my uncle caught a bad case of that.
They laugh. They love it. She says it's a Varger trading company. Now, I know you don't believe me, but they have contracts outside the Varger extents. Here in the Spinward Marches.
Okay,
Even
so
in the border
what you're
worlds.
saying is they have this trading company and they go out trading, and then what happens with the ice water? How do they get the ice water? What, they trade the stuff out and then they get the ice water and then they get money and then they come back and buy more or something? What happens?
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to, not get tracked down by any pirates. The thing is that if a pirate sees you in any type of pirate cruiser in Bowman, you're either already dead, captured, or they already have all your stuff and you're starting over. So the trick is to always mask yourself from any vector from potential pirate bases behind rocks. And then from that position, prospect and find where ice rocks could be. Now the big money item are radioactives. If you can find even one radioactive, they go for 1 million credits in some systems. That pays the bills, and then having a contract with a company like we do, whoever it is, they're the ones that can keep you going. Sometimes they ask you to do things on the side.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. See, because we don't know these guys, so we're just kind of hooking up with them, and we're going to be on their ship, So whatever they do, we do.
I'm going to ask what I could be a potentially sensitive question. I'm not sure what's normal among travelers, but their captain is a little indisposed. Presumably, they have a treasurer somewhere. Can we get a quote on what their contracts go for, like how much they make on that? Mostly because later when we check out this government opportunity, I want to be able to compare numbers.
Sure. They basically, I won't give you the specific number. Now I'm kind of out of character here. I'll tell you, this government contract for the adventure, it is not like a trade deal like this, but
right. Okay.
The typical game, the open table game, and how the merchant campaign is to do exactly what they're describing. It's to buy low and sell high, and then that barely pays the bills or just doesn't. And on top of that, find an employer as well. And anyways, she tells you as much in a very. She's like, look, this ship, it's used, the Pyrrhus, takes a lot of maintenance, and then she tells you, I won't give you the exact numbers because they don't matter, but from trading, paying off a whole starship, a mortgage cost and maintenance, they get right under the black. Like every time they do trading, they're gonna just not make enough money to get by, but then by having a patron with a job deal, they do jobs for this company, they get right over into the green, just barely, So if a job goes bad, it's real bad. But they can kind of keep going and make money and make some progress this way.
Okay, well, the thing is, do we trust these guys? Do we the Vargers? Do they look like good guys?
Yeah, I mean, we could see their intentions on their face exactly. So.
Yeah, that's something. Yeah, about them as far as you can tell. I mean. They don't. How do I put this? They don't seem to operate on the same kind of premise that you do as a simian type. Like this kind of web of trust and distrust and things. That it's apparent that they're much more immediate in their allegiances and loyalties.
Well, if they're like dogs, I would think that they're probably pretty loyal to their loyalty is probably important to them. But that's just a guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when Chapman started to stand up to the other captain, all of a sudden now you guys are friends.
And I'm going to kind of confer with my crewmates here a little bit more privately, but I'm just thinking about in the long term of what we want to do as a crew. My priority is not necessarily money, but thrills, excitement. I didn't choose this life because it's going to make us fabulously wealthy, but because it should provide cool opportunities to do fun stuff out in the universe instead of being stuck on some backwater, doing whatever manual labor that I was doing when I was growing up. What they're talking about, just prospecting for ice rocks out in the belt, I don't know. Dodging pirates, yeah, that sounds like it would be the wise thing to do, but is it the fun thing to do?
Sounds like maybe the necessary thing to do. So we might have no other choice.
That's why, of course, I'm interested in kind of comparing these different lifestyles of like what they do versus what offer we get from this from the scout services.
But we also don't know what side jobs they do, because that could be where the real interesting stuff is.
What they did say about getting a patron does sound like if you get the right patron, that's what we would want in the long term. I don't know how you all feel about the Third Imperium military, or if you'd want to ever be beholden to the scout services, or if this is like a one-off thing, or if, you're okay burning those kinds of bridges. Because the thing is, like, we can get a job, we can get whatever it is we're hired to do, and we don't have to follow through on that if we find a more interesting opportunity along the way. No, I wouldn't want to.
The whole time they were talking, when it mentioned that their ship could carry 40 of these ice rocks, I was thinking about how cool it would be to steal it. But then I realized that would probably be a bad idea, especially if they have this whole Kafurkanok, corporation backing them and stuff. We'd probably get caught and murdered. But
immediately get bounties on us first session of the campaign.
Yes.
I'm thinking of corporation as guns.
Yes, absolutely. And but that's where my mind went immediately. So I guess, Chapman, my point is that I'm kind of with you there. I want to have fun, do exciting things as well. I think we could still kind of see what's offered. As Dex mentioned, like there's a big part of it too is the side jobs that could pop up when we're doing more of the, kind of like the corporate kind of jobs. But I definitely don't just want to do that. Like, I don't think that would suit my lifestyle to just kind of, do like a career, like no excitement, just, that kind of thing. I wouldn't be too interested in that.
So we're not going to talk to them about getting in on what they do because it would be a little bit too boring. And we're not going to steal from them because it would be too risky.
Right.
So it sounds to me like you guys are saying we want to check something else out. Is that right?
It might end up being the case. I mean, all very good information we've learned, and maybe a long-term contact if we end up finding ourselves in the same parts of, the Spinward Marches and Vargr space. But
well, let's make buddies with all these guys for a little while here tonight, since we're on good terms and they're drunk, and some of us are drunk, and so then that way maybe we'll have some allies that even if we don't take a job with them, maybe we have, like you said, make some contacts.
Gotcha. I think that's a sound plan. I don't know if this is an appropriate kind of question, Ross, but how late in the day is it for us? Is this fair enough to call an evening's activity for us before we go to bed, do another thing in Spaceport?
It's actually only, we're talking... So you spend an hour of time. In this case, an hour is sort of the round, the measurement of time for like city crawling and stuff like that. So I just did my checks. Let me see here. There's one other thing that is going to happen. Sorry, I need to resolve some of my checks.
Well, one thing we could do while he's doing that is that we could talk to the other guy if he's still there. And then we could also go to one of the seedy bars and see what we find out at a seedy bar.
That's true. I'm sure the owners of this establishment wouldn't mind if we pack up this whole crew and go on a bar crawl and leave.
Yeah, we might even. Yeah, we might even make friends with them too.
You may, after you cleared the bill for 120 credits, you may have found your out, because 2 of the Vargar actually start fighting and just start knocking things over and throwing stuff and start going at each other.
Well, we can either fight or we can leave.
I hope you know me well enough to know where I'm going. I say as I roll up my sleeves.
I'm gonna say, well, no, maybe you shouldn't do that right now.
I've been drinking.
But of course, maybe I can't stop you. So that's up to you. But I've got your back.
Yeah, I'm following your lead, and I kind of roll my eyes like I figured this would happen, and I'm ready to go as well. Like, ready to fight if needed.
Are these Vargar just fighting each other, or has it broken out into chaos?
Well, okay, both of note. Like, they're fighting each other, and then they're knocking the table over, and drinks are flying, and glassware is shattered all over the floor, and people are slipping and falling, and people are shouting, and there's noise, but just 2 drunk Vargar fighting each other. Yeah.
All right, gang. I'm going up to the older, well-dressed gentleman from before, who is our server. Not pointing or tapping on his shoulder. I'm just going to deck him in the face.
Really?
Why are you going to deck him in the face?
I want us to get thrown out. We're going all in. We run with the dogs now.
Oh, no.
And the entire time I will be singing the classic Star Shanty, Band in Argo.
Oh yeah, I forgot the filk music going on. You're in a bar. My bad. Oh no. So all right,
I'm not exactly drunk, so I'm not going to fight.
Yeah,
unless you need defending.
That's fine. You don't have to follow my lead exactly, but I wouldn't mind if you guys kept me from killing myself.
You can roll a d6 for damage to see if you knock him unconscious in one hit.
I got a 4.
A 4. Let me see. Okay, you don't knock him unconscious, but he flies backwards.
Okay, I'm going to deck Perseus.
There we go.
I'm going to deck Perseus. Because I'm like defending the poor old guy or whatever he is.
Perseus? Oh no. Let's see here.
But it's like nothing personal or anything that, you know.
No. This is what I pay you for. Like, sometimes I need my crew to do this for me.
All right. So within another portion of a round, guards swarm into the place with guns because you're right next to the you're like right next to the Starport Authority where most of the cops are. And so they come in, there are 10 of them who point guns at you and tell you to get down on the floor.
All right.
Get down on the floor.
I'll get down on the floor.
All right. The jukebox.
Am I having a gun? I didn't throw any punches. Am I in this? Am I having a gun?
Everybody, including the Vargar, like every single person. They come up and they put you in cuffs and they arrest you. Let's see what we got here. You spend. They take you to a police station. Oh gosh darn it! I had a bar fight thing and I didn't even use it.
Is this official Traveler artwork of bar fights?
It is actually. It's actually from GDW. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm trying to even see this. This is a little bit where I need like a general, like I'll use like a ship corridor because that's all we got. Because they take you into basically what is like a sterile facility that holds people, and they throw you in a drunk tank, and you're in there for 5 days.
Oh my goodness.
God.
Now,
You
I have an
also
important question. Are there anyone else, other people passing in and out of the port who find themselves with a little vacation here in the drunk tank? Because this is when we sow rumors. This is all calculated.
Yeah.
We have a reputation to build, and I'm going to curate it
Yeah. No,
to the exact
absolutely.
audience who I want to view us as being dangerous.
That's a good point, actually. I can rotate you a few options here for the next 5 days of people that get thrown in the drunk tank. Let me see what's going on here. Might be my baby.
We didn't have to pay anywhere to stay at night. And we're getting free
Exactly.
food. I mean, I hope we're getting
Free
food.
hots and a cot and a captive audience who we can tell them whatever we want about ourselves.
Well, this is the part I didn't finish. So 5 days in the drunk tank. It is not on the government dime, though. You owe the Starhaven Tavern. They charge you with fees for damages, medical expenses for the maitre d', the food and lodging, because the government always gets its pound of flesh, and then you have the actual fee for the crime that you committed. I can come up with the cost, but I actually need to take a quick break for something. But I will give you guys a couple of options so that you can kind of consider what you want to do before I go take this break. Of who gets thrown in the drunk tank with you.
I have one idea for how we conduct this expense.
One group is the let's see, thrown in drunk tank. On day 1, a group of Vargr from that corporation, including somebody that they go and apprehend, which is a corporate representative. Corporate rep.
So that was my idea. I was going to say that they should bill
for
our expenses to the patron of the Vargr crew. We'll be like, yeah, our captain has a contract. You know, they'll cover that.
Let's see, we got. Interesting. Another one on day 2 is a local black marketeer. I'll just say that you're able to find that out being stuck with them. And after they find out who you are and the type of person you are, the local black marketeer who masquerades as a wounded vet beggar or panhandler. And then we got 4, 5, 3. This is interesting too. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. It should do it. 2. Okay. This is actually someone from the Third Imperium. And when I say that, I mean like they're in Imperial space. And for some reason, they've come here. They're also a merchant. They're probably new here.
So they're just someone who from within the Third Imperium. They're not an official.
Right. They're like another free trader or merchant from the Deneb subsector, which is odd because that's very far from here. And the galaxy is huge, and it takes a week just to go 1 or 2 parsecs. So making your way 200 light years out of the way is not something that we're talking. If you include business in that, that could be like a year or 2 of traveling with business, you know. So let me get your day 4 and 5, and then I'm going to go take care of this. Yeah. 2. This is interesting. These are belters. They work the local belt of Flammarion, and they do trips out to the local belt because this system also has an asteroid belt. 3, 5, 3, 5, 2. Oh, what a weird. Trying to even. I don't think that would be it. That's so weird. I gotta look at the traveler map for this to make sense. I think this was what this would be. The 5th day, you have a group of 4 what's called border worlders. I'll explain what that means, but in short, during the war, there's a political entity. I mentioned that there's only 2. It's way more complicated than that, but I wasn't going to go into all that, nor will I now. But one of the things is that there are 2 factions that allied with the Zodani against the Imperium, against you, right? One of them was the Vargur. There was a political entity in the Vargur extent, some of their empire, and so those Vargur dissidents were then reintegrated into the Imperium and forced to fight or serve or else face worse consequences. And then there's another political group called the, or an empire called the Sword Worlds, which is a group of humans that decided that, like, either they had Norse heritage or they had a Eurocentric view of virtue or something. They have kind of like they believe they ought to be Vikings, whether they are or not, or they have that actual heritage or not. And so they named their worlds things like Mithril World and Excalibur. They named like literally sword worlds, and they live a Viking lifestyle where they have an Aesir, like a Norse religion, a neo-pagan religion, and they worship the old gods. And they are Vikings. Well, the Vikings on the southern portion of that joined against the Imperium, and the Imperium used the war as an excuse to come in and just take over. And they took over the Sword Worlds and destroyed the southern border of it, and they called them the Border Worlds Confederation. So these are like neo-far future Norse people that have been forced into menial labor situations south of their border worlds, and they were like doing odd jobs and menial work here in the starport, and they've been kind of displaced by the war. I gotta go real quick. I'll be right back, okay? You can kind of decide what you want to do with these people.
All right. I know that you guys may have some doubts about my leadership, but I see this as an opportunity. I have some ideas. Firstly, we want to take advantage of this to spread our reputation. My idea is that we lie and instead claim that we got the tar beaten out of us by these really amazing travelers for hire who were able to just like completely handed over to us after we made a big ruckus. And specifically, we're going to be talking about, like, us. I don't know if our team has a name, if our crew has a name. We don't have a ship. We're just going to try to talk up the reputation of us, pretending to be the ones who crossed the wrong guys.
For what purpose?
So that, like,
Objective.
when we're, like, negotiating for jobs and contracts and whatnot, and we're hearing rumors, I want us to be able to have already established some credibility. Our crew has established credibility as a bunch of tough guys who can get the job done.
Because reputation in this world, reputation matters quite a bit, from my understanding. So I get what you're going with. So if we kind of already come out of the gate with people thinking that we're, the guys you call when you need some muscle, people that get the job done at whatever cost, like, that's not a bad idea at all to have that, kind of going for us. So I'm on board with that.
We were arrested fighting in a bar with a bunch of Vargar. So, I mean, that seems to be a little bit of.
So, some jerks who made a big fight in a bar got arrested. They got put into their place by this amazing crew who you have to hire for your next gig, consisting of this guy Books and Dex and their brave leader, Chapman. We'll have prison names, whatever we got to do.
Okay, can you flesh that out a bit?
Well, it might be prudent that we actually do have to come up with a name for our crew. I'd hate to commit to one without the input of the other players, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, let's just
wait.
have like we'll just retro, put that in.
Retcon, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Retcon. Yeah, retcon is what I was looking for. I do have a question, though, about the 5 different days, like the 5 different groups. Are we allowed to engage with all of them, or do we have to pick? I wasn't clear on that. Do you guys know?
Clear either. It might be as many of them as we would want to, like which ones we're interested in, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounded like more food for thought than anything else. So we could make up something that happened.
I do want to say, before we lose track of this, the expenses of this, I am ready to eat the cost if we have to, because this is my fault. However, if you guys think either of these ideas are workable, we could either claim that we are part of the crew of the Vargar, and that it'll all be covered by our patrons, the snack company.
Yeah.
Or do we have legal recourse? Could we go to a small claims judge or something? Because they must have a judge somehow or something. Because we got put here 5 days without seeing anybody. So
I don't know if there's due process. I'm sure that we could probably appeal whatever they do, and I'm sure that it wouldn't be worth fighting that, so they would just drop it entirely if they're like any other small claims court.
I think we should do something like that.
Or we could bill it to Cleon's noble family. I know that Ben isn't here, but...
Oh, Ben is a noble.
He is. He's a minor noble.
Okay.
We would, of course, at least partially sully their reputation if we do that. But if you guys like the idea of either of those ways of trying to cover our debts, or like you said, just contesting it entirely. Now these
Ben isn't here. We can't talk about that with him this time. But if we don't, if it's still an option, or we don't get where we want with the judge, then we can do that route.
Okay.
Does that sound okay?
That's we'll put a pin in it for later.
Yeah. I like that idea. I think that we should try to get out of paying. If we could, whatever we have to do to get out of paying sounds good to me.
And if nothing else, I'm prepared to eat the cost myself, because I am crew captain and I am an idiot. Now, out of our folks that we do time with, first of all, I definitely think that the black market guy, we want to make sure that we sell ourselves to this guy, our reputation, pretty well. I kind of just want to ask that Imperial merchant what he's doing out here. I'm a little intrigued by what brought him all this way.
Yeah, I'm on board with that.
Do we have anything that we want to say to the Vargar rep who got pulled into all of this?
Well, maybe the Vargar rep have something to say to us.
Yeah, that's... yeah. I would like to maintain our friendship with the Vargars. I assume are sharing some space with us here in the drunk tank. And after all, they started it.
Well, sort of.
We finished it.
I mean, one of you went over and just punched the maitre d' in the face, which is a whole other thing.
I was trying to get everyone in on it. You know, there's an open invitation. I wanted a free for all. All right, we had some discussion about what we have in mind for how we're spending our time reflecting on our behavior as citizens. So firstly, in covering the charges, like the literal expenses, either we would like to try to maybe get the Vargar patron to cover it, the snack company, I think you said. And we're just going to claim to be a part of that crew of the, did you call them their ship, the Pyrrhus?
The Pyrrhus, Pyrrhus.
Pyrrhus. However, I'm sure that the Vargar rep that has been brought in might have something to say about that. I suggested, and I know that this isn't very sporting, but we could get Cleon's noble family to cover this. I wouldn't necessarily want to do that without Ben's input, though, and he's not here. And Matthew was saying that we might want to contest this in small claims court, because after all, where's our due process? Like, we didn't have anyone representing us. And just, like, kind of cross our fingers that they drop it entirely because it's not worth fighting.
Yes. Okay, so possibly... Okay, so I got 3 options as far as, how to handle the debt. So the bad news is, and I'm going to explain this, I actually think this is pretty generous. So somewhat generally speaking, a credit is like $1. It fluctuates in what you're talking about. Sometimes it's $1 by modern standards. Sometimes it's $1 by 1977 standards. So like the book says that you can have a hotel for 30 credits. Where nowadays it's like $120, right? If you want to spend a night in a hotel. A meal, on the other hand, is 10 credits usually, with a meal and a drink and everything covered in that. So, but it's like around that, right? Like that's kind of a benchmark for how credits work. So I've got it as 25,000 credits. Now, the 2 major drivers of that are the legal fees and the actual, like, you broke the law and now you have to pay to get out on bail. And then they'll decide if they're going to bring you up on charges later, and do stuff like that. And they may, speaking of Argo, they may revoke any possible certification. So there's a whole system of certifications of where you can land and where you can trade and when you can get jobs with corporations and stuff. And if you break the law, or if if you do stuff like that, then like they'll say, hey, you're not going to trade here and you're not going to come here. So that's actually the big thing. But then the other thing that's expensive is actually the medical fees for the guy to have his medical care covered. And then him suing you and stuff like that. Now,
I knew I should have punched the loner guy who was dressed really nicely.
No, you shouldn't. You'd be dead. I'll just let you know. Which is hilarious to me.
Chapman actually did give him a look, and then the guy was just like, no.
I know you. Yeah. That's great. So, getting the Vargar to take the fall for it. Let's say you do that, and you actually get to see a judge. And it's going to be really simple. Who has the highest social? I want to see if there are any nobles. I don't think there are.
I've got
7.
6.
I have 3.
7, 6, 3. 3.
If nothing else, we can break out the sob story. We're all war veterans here. We can talk about having trouble adjusting to society. We just need a second chance.
So
Well, I've got endurance of 10, so I can argue for a long time, and I have education of 12. So I'm not that bright because I only have a intelligence of 3, but I can talk a lot.
Indeed, but do you have admin? Do you have admin 1?
I do not, but maybe with somebody else in the.
I don't believe anyone in our party does.
Okay.
No.
All right. So I think it comes down to this. This is actually really interesting, but I want to not just telegraph this, but frame the options so that you can choose. There's a chance as a human that you can absolutely just pin everything on the Vargar. Absolutely.
Oh, you mean like take advantage of a little bit of xenophobia, like speciesism?
So if you want to do that, you can absolutely try to do that, and there's a chance that you'll get it. The cost of doing that is you'll definitely have an enemy. I guess I will reveal, yes, they do value loyalty a lot. Not only you'll have a people that really hate you, but you also will no longer owe 25,000 credits, and you'll just be able to walk out scot-free without any potential future complications as well.
25,000?
Yeah, 25,000.
Well, I think we'd be better off making up with the Vargar and getting a job with them and putting together money so that we can pay it off than making an enemy.
This is an old school game. I mean, there's no better way to start than with a debt.
I will also note about the patron thing, because I think this is something I find very interesting. I'm dedicated to letting it play out and seeing. So patrons are like one of the most valuable things in the game. A patron is somebody who, it's not just an NPC that's a contact with info or somebody can give you a job. A patron is somebody who's like, I have the purse strings of this bigger thing. And so I'm the one that can disperse this great amount of money, and I can, and so what will happen is a patron will always send you on a job, and a job will always be something you don't want to do. It's always going to be something complicated and adventurous and quality. And then the positive of that is that the patron has the power to give you a bunch of money or give you things you need. Interestingly, you can only try to find a patron once a week. So it's like a steep hill to get a patron. That I'm not telling you not to do it. I just want you to be aware that that's an extra diegetical factor in the game that's interesting.
Okay. Well, Alex and Ben, what do you think about that? What would you like to do?
Well, Russ, were there other options you were proposing other than just invoking racism?
Yeah.
I wish I could tell you more, but I'm trying to stay in the fiction.
Gotcha.
Other than invoking racism, there might be a
Just,
lot of that in
slam
this
the
game.
human privilege button.
Let's see here. No, I'm not proposing anything. I'm framing your choice, because you're saying, hey, we maybe get the Vargar to take the fall for it. That's what I wrote down.
Hey, do we have the problem though that the rep got punched?
Not by you all.
Oh, who did Alex punch? Because he didn't punch
maitre
the
d'
other
bar.
guy.
I
The
punched
maitre
the
d'.
employee at the
Excuse
bar,
me.
yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay, got it.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I personally do not love the idea of stoking the fires of speciesism in the galaxy. It's the whatever century, and I think that we're better than that. I love our new friends that we made, and I don't want to fall back on something that unethical.
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I just think that's not a great idea. I mean, it is tempting to not, because that's a lot of money. 25,000 credits is that's a lot. But I'd rather find another option where we still maintain that relationship with the Vargar and don't have to pay. So yeah.
Okay.
Now, we'll have another week before our contract meeting with the Scout Service Director. Is there a community service option? Can we work it off?
Yeah, we can talk to the judge about that.
Yeah,
I would happily pay back my debt to society manually.
For 25,000 to put you in a jumpsuit somewhere, they're talking, either going back in the military, which you know how that works. You've got like a 50% chance of death every term, or which would end this character also because they would go off and do something else, but or a long-term contract. So the simple answer is no. Like, this is going to be a complication you're going to go in the game with, and that's okay. But
what if we say that Chapman was like possessed by the Zodani? Like, isn't that a fear everyone has, that they implanted something in our brains that they can take us over? What if we lean into that a little bit and say that? I mean, I know that's probably terrible because then there'll be people will be fearful of us. But what if we say something like that? Like, could we use that to our advantage somehow? Like that fear that.
Could a doctor verify that though? Like, would they then have to do an examination on me?
I would say
cut out your brain.
If you start talking about the Zodani, you're talking about like touching nerve agents, because that's kind of like, I mean, imagine you were in on a government thing and then the government doesn't even have a control of it, and you have information about it that they already don't want you to have, and now you're going to be getting into bar fights and then say, oh, it's because of it's because of my relationship to the, I can't use real world examples. It's because of this top secret government thing. I mean, you'll never leave the jail. That's that's what'll happen.
I like where your head's at though, Matthew. That's
They'll never make it out. I'm not saying these are the only two options, but I mean, you can certainly keep thinking. And meanwhile, like, in case any other options come up. So right now I'm just hearing these two things, and if you come up with something else, like, let's talk about it.
We still have the Varger representative, the black market guy, the merchant, and the belters, and the border worlders. So we do
let's
have.
Probe that a little bit. It'll maybe give us some ideas for what we could leverage.
Actually, I mean, if we have the corporate rep for the Varger there, why? I mean, technically that fight was started by Varger, right? Like, I mean, it's, why don't we just try to say, hey, like, we hung out with them, we became friendly with them, we were basically defending them. We could say that the person that Chapman punched was like going after them or something, and why don't we use that to our advantage and say, like, why don't, it would be great if they paid our fee because we got into this fight defending Varger.
I think that while that is partially true, right? I don't think the Varger will take it that way. I think the Varger see it as like, you're either in our pack or you're not. Like, are you on our side or are you on their side? That's how they're going to be about it. What was I going to say? I do want to frame this off. I want to tweak this on the matter of racism. Do what is fun for you, which is, if you like, I like the Varger too. I'm not a player right now, but like, I just like them, right? Like So if that's what's fun for you, or if that's what you want to do to your character, do that. That being said, it is like a hard sci-fi place, and stuff sucks. So that is absolutely something that is going on. Like, it's not this is not the Star Trek Federation. This place sucks. And
I'm sure there's a lot of ugly things going on out there, but I'm not going to stoop to that level.
Of note,
I'll just punch older people.
the Varger betrayed the Third Imperium, and they killed a lot of, like. So it's a mess. It's a mess. Does that justify doing something wrong? In an RPG, only if you find it's fun. So I just want to say that is a real option. Don't say, well, we can't do that or something. Yes, you can. Just do what's fun for you. So one option is throw the Varger under the bus, however you grease that. And then the second one is, so far, eat it. Just eat the cost and walk away. If you can't pay it outright, then you'll take a debt in a future court hearing date. And You won't be an outright criminal, but you'll be whatever you call it when you're like, this person is being, what do you call it? What do you call it when you're called to court but you haven't been charged with something yet? I can't remember what that's called.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
So you're saying the Varga rep is not? We're not going to be able to talk them into having their patronage cover our expenses here, just straight up.
But I think we could because we're in it together. I mean, I think we could, like, work with them because they've got debt too, right?
No, I don't. They don't know you. No, I don't think that would happen.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, like.
No, I mean, like they probably have debt too. We've got debt, and we both want to make money, right? So maybe we can make money together.
Well, okay. Let's do it. So, let's see. This is on day 1. So there are members of the Kefirkanok. The whole name, by the way, is not Kefirkanok. The whole name is like, let's see here. I'll have to duplicate this. I can't pronounce it anyway. I don't know why I'm looking it up. And it's like a bunch of like dog kind of sounding noises, but now out of my own curiosity, I want to find it. The Actually, I'm going to post it in the VTT. I'm not just this is real in the Traveler lore, by the way. All right. Give me my there. That's the full name of the corporation. For human sake, they just call it the Kefirkanok.
All right, cool.
So yeah, so there are a few people here, and you can see this is kind of everything that's going on. Some of them have already been taken somewhere else, including the crew captain. There are like 3 of them here that you met, and their ears are back, and they're looking down and twitchy. And another Varga is brought in, and he's like growly, So it's obvious that like you've got the crew of a starship, of a tramp freighter, and in a short hour you got into a kerfluffle with them at a bar, And then you've got this corporate rep who doesn't know you from Mary or Martha. Like this corporate rep doesn't know who you are at all, and really hates your guts right now.
Gotcha.
Because and he got thrown in jail because he was responsible for stuff that happened, or was he, or did he get thrown in jail unjustly? But he's no fan of you. I don't know if that. But you can talk to him if you want.
We'll put down trying to convince him or win him over. This Imperial merchant who found his way all the way out here. What's his story? I'm curious about that.
Yeah, that's interesting. Let me look. And then while I'm looking, roll a 2d6 again. And then
I got a total of 7.
A 7. Okay, that is not super high. I gotta roll some things here for this merchant. 17, 20. Interesting. Oh, man. 3. Got just a couple more things here. 2. Okay. So he sits in here and he's really nervous when he's brought in. He's wringing his hands, looking from side to side, and he doesn't talk to you. What do you say? What do you do?
I'll sit down next to him and I say, "First time?"
Yeah, is this what you come in places like this all the time, or you just I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude. I apologize.
This happens to
don't
us
be.
all the time.
Yeah, I wouldn't say all the time, but we're no strangers.
Well, look, I
Fairly
don't.
often.
I don't want any trouble, and I don't want anything to do with any of this stuff. This is all just a mistake. Absolutely, this is not something that happens to me all the time. I shouldn't be here right now.
Hey, it's all right. You're in good company. All they want to do right now is scare you, especially on your first night. Trust me, if you let them get to you, that's the end of the story. So just like keep a cool head. You got
10 or
friends here.
12 nights will be used to it.
Scare me? What? No, No. I'll go to I'll go to low law court and we'll get this. I'll get this cleared up. Look, I shouldn't even be in here right now. Like, this doesn't have anything to do with me. And he kind of like draws up into himself, like it's clear like he thinks that he's better than you. Is what it is.
No doubt that's true, but as long as you're spending as long as you're here for the night, you might as well get comfortable. You're only going to be here, a short amount of time since you're an honest citizen.
Yeah.
Come on, we'll tell you our story if you tell us yours.
Is there anything that we could share with him? Like, do we have like an extra blanket or something that we could, give him to kind of help him open?
Give him a cigarette or
yeah, anything.
Yeah.
a space cigarette, excuse me.
Space cigarette.
Nobody bought a cigarette. Of note, the previous crew did. That was the first thing they did.
I have like
cigarette.
one that I smoked and was halfway, and it's like crumpled up in my back pocket.
It's just been sitting in there.
I wasn't sure if that's the kind of minor purchase that we needed to account for, but I'll be diligent about that in the future. Don't worry.
I don't mean to say that. Like, it's fine. You could have cigarettes if you'd have cigarettes. Yeah, totally. Yeah, you offer him something to keep him warm and a cigarette, and he actually smokes it, even though it's like all weird and crumply and probably been in there for 2 days, and like you forgot it was in there in your jumpsuit. And he says, "Yeah, so why are you in here?"
Having a little too much fun,
No, I don't know.
We made a mess at the starport. There were a few too many drinks. A little bit of a glassware got shattered. But
I think I bring up the fact that we all served. Just try to throw that in there, so he knows.
Put our credibility. The fact that we're all veterans.
You know what they say about Fifth Frontier War vets? There's one way that you can know if they're a Frontier War vet. They'll let you know. Anyways,
we're spread out. We're spread out all across the galaxy from one another. So when our paths cross, we can't, not take advantage of the opportunity to celebrate our kindred experiences together. And hey, the local authorities, they don't like seeing that kind of thing. They don't like the reminders.
He mutters a very half-hearted and you suspect possibly suspicious, "Thanks for your service." And then, it's like, yeah. So, why are you here then? Do you work? Do you live here? Is this where you're from?
No. We're just drifters. We're here for work. Looking for our next job. Always on the lookout for another opportunity.
Drifters. You're travelers.
Yeah, of course. I want to gauge, how does he feel about travelers, by the way he says that?
Yeah, travelers are like I said, like old world sailors meets vagrants. But at the same time, they have and I think it's like old world sailors in that even though people don't want them around and they see them as kind of, they don't fit in and whatever, you're also needed, and no one else can do what you do, you know, and you're like, you make society work too. So there's that. But anyways, maybe it's even
some
got
have
like
branded us with that label. Yes.
yeah, it's even got like a tinge of that like truck stop like bit as far as like a modern Americana, because truck stops aren't always great either, right? But anyways, they say he says I hope my lawyer gets here soon. You have a lawyer, right? Of course.
I have a PhD.
In law?
In general studies, I believe.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yes.
Actually, I think I see this as an opportunity, and I kind of just, while we wait to answer that question, I pull Chapman and Dex to the side. And my thought is, if we could make him think that things are about to get a lot worse in here, because he doesn't know. So if we basically say, like, listen, we'll protect you, things like there's nightly riots, like, you know, there's hazing, there's terrible, terrible things that go on. We'll protect you through this, but you have to let us use your lawyer and or pay the fee. So kind of like a quid pro quo. Like, we'll take care of you during this thing that's not actually going to happen. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, make him think it's about to get a lot worse, and we'll protect him if he helps us.
Yeah, I'm all for that.
So when he asks us if we have a lawyer, I'm going to be like, you know, that's what they want you to think. You're you know, going to have a chance to see them, but that's like a coin flip, if even that. I mean, if you think for 1 second the system is fair, this place is designed to eat you alive.
Like the last guy that was here, you know, he thought he had a lawyer, and I think they're still cleaning him up from you know, the cell.
He starts shaking down. At this point. He has a cold sweat. You can actually see the perspiration forming on his face. He's like,
not that there's anything to be worried about, but
yeah, you're tough, right? You can handle yourself.
No,
you know,
no, I'm not.
Before, right?
No, I haven't.
Oh, huh. Well, I mean, hey, you know, you seem like you're old enough. You probably lived a decent enough life, right?
No, I haven't.
Well, maybe we could help each other. I don't know. You know, if you're up to the idea, but
strength in numbers is the key to being able to, you know, ride out one of these stints. And when you take a look over there, I gesture at the 5 Vargur crew that are all together. We definitely wouldn't want to be outnumbered by the pack.
Yeah, they took them in yesterday.
Okay, you're saying you'll protect me then, is that right?
Well,
We'll help you out.
We'll help you out if you help us out, right? You know, obviously we've been through this before. We know how to get out of here alive, right? You don't. So you help us out. You let us use your lawyer. You pay any fees, and we'll make sure you leave here alive.
You just want me to pay my retainer fee for my attorney and get him to represent you.
I mean, that's the one way you escape from this place. We can help you survive as long as possible. We're more than happy to. We're already on that mission for ourselves. I'm sure you don't want to be around here forever, right? Neither do we.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll talk to my attorney. And so this is actually day number
3, I think.
3. Yeah, here
There's
it is.
the Vargur, then the fence, and now the merchant.
Day number 3. So he says we're gonna have a whole session in jail. This is wild. I actually have out of character. I have a module for this that's just about this, and it's too bad. If things go bad enough, then that may be where these characters end up. And we have to roll new characters. Well, later on we'll play the prison.
I have faith that we will get out of this by the end of tonight.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all. Let's see if it gets worse. But okay. So that day, you present a scheme, like do this, don't do this, and you kind of have him under your thumb, and he thinks you're protecting him as people are brought in and out and stuff like that. And
we want to talk him into punching one of us so we can establish how tough he is in here.
His attorney shows up that day, and he leaves for a while, and he comes back, and he's like, I got you a session with my attorney, and I paid the 3,000 credit retainer fee out of my funds, and my attorney has agreed to represent you. But you have to protect me for the next few days, and my attorney knows that.
That's no problem.
Sounds good.
Deal.
Right.
That sounds like honest work.
Yeah.
Now, do we want to pay one of the Varker to attack him and then we step in?
I like that idea.
You're probably not going to have to. This is day 3.
Is this place actually that bad? I thought we were just making that up.
You've got 2 more days in jail. So
we genuinely do have to look out for him now because this guy is easy pickings.
So the attorney, they bring you out to have an audience with an attorney that's paid for, and he says, hello, my name's Lyndon Richardson. It's nice to meet you. Shakes your hand, keeps a straight face. He says, please take a seat. Let me review your case and get some information, and we'll see what we can do, and then I'll let you know. My retainer is paid for the case up to when your hearing happens, and I'll represent you at your hearing. But beyond that, we'll have to negotiate any other fees or what we want to do from there. But let's just take a look at your case. So, and then he asked you, and so what do you choose to share with him?
If this guy is our representative, I feel like it might be prudent to just lay everything out very clearly exactly what happened. Unless you guys are confident that there's something else we could tell him that we could get away with.
Yeah, I think we should. Ben, did you have something to say?
Matthew.
My name's Andrew.
Sorry, Andrew.
That's okay.
Andrew.
I was just agreeing. I was saying, if it works like our law system, then yeah, I say we just be completely honest, and I don't think we should hide anything, because then they'll know how to, use that effectively to miss out.
We can emphasize the fact that there was already a fight,
We can make ourselves look good a little bit, but not to change.
This was a bar where a fight was taking place, and I did participate, but...
Well, you drank the guy under the table. You can mention that.
Yeah, that's a legal defense right there.
So I just want to be clear.
Well, it means
because
you weren't as drunk as he was, right? So
the charge actually includes assault and battery of the maitre d'. Did you do that?
I did that, yes.
I see.
He did that.
Okay, assault and battery. All right, and I think this is a key point here. Who was it that took the first drink? And out of character, it was the Varger.
Yeah, we'll explain that.
Okay, I see. So the Varger took the first drink, and that was a total of 7 drinks?
By my count, yes.
7 drinks. Okay, and it seems like after 7 drinks, the Varger captain passed out. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay, Varger captain passed out.
But I was doing great.
Indeed, no doubt.
Yeah, he was a champ.
And I just want to make sure I understand. Did you destroy? Did you pick up any objects nearby and smash them on the ground, or throw them at anyone, or destroy kitchenware, dishes?
None of us did at all. There shouldn't be any property damage that could stick on the 3 of us.
Destruction of property.
If this lawyer ends up arriving at the racism defense anyway.
Oh, it's worse. I'm going to be honest with you, based on what I rolled, and I'm going to tell you what I rolled and where it came from because it's so crazy. But we'll get there in a second. Okay. He says. Okay, and I want to note of interest to the case. There was footage. So they do have live footage, and they keep that. They keep one of their computer software available for that. They have to keep it both ways because I guess that has something to do with being able to monitor shipments that come and go. The footage would actually come from the control tower, but you'll be able to be seen, I think. And then the other thing of interest is that sometimes ships will actually do scans locally, and those scans can be multispectral, so they can tell some different things like about what's going on. I think we have some information here. Is there anything else that you'd like to share for me? What is your business here in Startown Liberty? Like, what are you here for?
Well, we are travelers who are in business with the scout services.
You have a job, a contract with the scout services.
Well, we're ironing out the details, but
so you don't have a contract with the scout services.
Not finalized.
Okay, no contract and no job.
All right.
He might as well be. You probably don't know, but he's like writing down vagrancy, and stuff like that. Let's see. What's the last thing I was going to ask? I think that's it. So he closes. He says, "All right, I think I have some information that I can work with here. I will tell you that I think that the most concerning thing that I want to present to you as my client is just actually to one of you. It's to Mr. Chapman. Mr. Chapman, this is a criminal offense that could go into imperial high law. And so it's kind of like a capital offense versus like a local or state offense. And really the Imperium is like a federation where you have these different levels of government and different things that go on. And it can be wildly different wherever you are. So high law is like, no war crimes, don't nuke anybody, don't torture people, like stuff. That's like high law. And one of those high laws might be like, actually, this is an important thing of note. Starports are controlled by the Imperium. It's kind of like airports, like where you have the TSA and you've got like the FBI. So like if an airport lands and there's a security issue...
I should have gone to a local dive bar to do this, is what you're saying.
Yeah, punching
next time.
A person at a government bar is probably not a good idea. But because you did it on federal property, you did it on an Imperial starport outside the admin offices and it was seen, it could be an Imperial high law violation and you could be sent to Imperial court somewhere. And so he's like, this this could be a felony, and I just want you to know that is my primary concern. Now I'm going to try to take a look at this case, and I'll be back with you, okay? And he leaves, not mentioning the 25,000 credits or the fees or further stuff or any of the rest of you. And then a day passes. And I'm going to see, we're going to do some encounter checks.
I want to say that night, Perseus is the one who's most scared. It's like up all night staring at the ceiling.
Oh, no. Yeah. Let's see here. What? That's not what I need. I shouldn't have left
don't worry,
page.
merchant buddy, you got nothing to be afraid of.
Oh, man. This, I haven't got the kinks worked out on this thing that I made yet. Patrons. I don't want patrons. I want... Almost there. That's what I want. 3, 2. Okay. You see, someone walk past and talk to someone for a moment, like this, outside. You can't hear them outside the drunk tank. And there's 2 armed guards and somebody else, like another kind of suit type, maybe another lawyer or some kind of paper pusher. And then you see the well-dressed person that was in the bar. This is outside. And then they talk, but you can't hear them, blah, 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 blah. But they don't look at you, and then he leaves. So, and then I got, you might not have to protect this guy. Doesn't make any sense. I have to re-roll that.
Wait, I want to protect that guy. He's our meal ticket.
What I mean is, like, maybe it actually will go well. It does not go well, actually. Okay. So,
all right.
Several more drunk people are thrown in here. These are dock workers, ramp rats. These are people that work the dock and load and unload and do all the work, refueling and stuff like that. And they got caught in some kind of incident and thrown in here. And one of them is just like furiously mad and stomping around, yelling and screaming outside. And the others are drunk and stuff. And eventually it happens that he just turns around and wheels around at you all and is like, "What are you looking at? What are you doing? Give us some space. Go over there to the corner."
I'm in the corner.
You are, in fact. You are. You are.
I will try to avoid eye contact, and I will gesture for the merchant to follow our lead, like, just pretend you're not even there. Like, maybe they'll get, we just don't want to maintain their attention at all.
There's three of you, and there are five of them. He just comes over. It's just him right now, and he comes over and he pushes one of you. I'm gonna roll a d6 because it's not fair to just keep picking on Chapman. Poor Chapman at this point. Oh no, not poor Chapman. He's done some stuff.
Yeah, this is fair.
Actually, and sadly I rolled a d3 and I got Chapman. So once again, Chapman, you just get pushed by this guy and get pushed down in front of the merchant, in front of, and. All of his buddies like swarm over, and actually I'm going to see what they do. They don't just start coming over and fighting, but they don't stop him either.
I say, "Hey."
Nice.
Hey, stop it.
Yeah. And it is like, "Hey, I thought I told you to shut your mouth and go and sit over there." It's just this one belligerent guy. You punch him in the stomach?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to see.
What have I done?
I'm going to see if he's surprised.
All the wrong lessons.
Roll a d6. I don't think it's possible. I think it's fine. And then you're the attacker, and there's no initiative in this game.
I have 4.
A 4. Okay, so there's no surprise. Let me bring up my encounter rules. Surprise. No one. Let me just see if I have any. All right. Short range. Nobody can run away. So you can just attack him. Let's see here. You're using your hands, and he doesn't have any armor, so you get a +1. So you roll a 2d6, and you got to get a 7.
Oh, I got a 2d6.
2d6 to get 7 or above.
Okay, I have a strength of 8. And you said I get a +1?
Yeah, because because he's not wearing any armor, and that's a good point actually. Is you have a strength of 8, so it's just a yeah. So you get a
7.
You got a 7. Okay, so you hit him. Let me see what that does to him. Well. Here we go. Roll 1 die.
1 die. Oh, this is damage?
Yeah, 1 die of
5.
damage. You got 5 damage. Let me see what his endurance is. It hits him pretty hard. Oh! And then he's going to try to punch you back. Switch back to bar fight here. He misses. And I'm going to see if his buddies join in or if this is a one-on-one fight. His buddies do not join in, so you're dueling this guy. So you can roll 2d6, hit on a 7. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm on the ground, but would I be able to stand up and try to push these guys apart at arm's length, interfere?
If you want to, but he's about to win the fight.
I don't need us to get in any more trouble unnecessarily. Really, I have faith that my comrade Dex will listen to me if I think this is the right move. The question is if I can calm this guy down or not. If I can't, I'll just step out of the way and let Dex do his work.
Good point. Well, hey, roll 2d6. Let's see if the reaction roll. See if he see if he can calm down. It's going to be at a penalty because this guy is already very unreasonable.
I got a 3.
Oh no. Okay, yeah, he's just out of his mind anyways, but he just pushes you out of the way. But yeah, you Dex, you can roll to hit.
Okay, so I hit just 1 or 2 to hit. Right?
2d6, and you got to get a 7 or above.
Okay. Ooh, I got a 3.
Oh no. Okay, he gets a chance to hit you now.
Okay.
I rolled a 10. That's at a +1 because you don't have. Well, are you wearing your armor actually?
Yeah, I'm wearing my the cloth armor.
Cloth armor with hands.
You typically wear around, isn't it? Right?
Yeah. Check this out. Cloth armor with hands, -4.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I rolled a 10, so -4 is now 6, which means he does not hit because you're wearing armor. You're probably able to, use that to your advantage, and you're able to punch back.
Okay, well, what I don't want to happen is I don't want to really hurt him, and then the other guys are going to get mad, and then they're going to attack us, all of them. Okay, so what I do is I want to take him down to size, right?
Right.
I'm wondering if after my failed attempt to talk to this guy, could I go to some of his friends and say, "Hey, get your buddy here off of my guy, and let's call this square."
So I'm just standing there looking tough.
I'll go with Chapman too to give him some backup.
Of note, I think this will make is this the third blow? Is this the third blow if you did it? I think. Third blow. What's your endurance?
I hit him. He swung at me and missed.
And then you tried a second time.
I swung at him and missed. And then he swung at me and missed.
Yep. So you're on your third if you do it again.
Yeah, we're not doing very good.
Yeah. What's your endurance?
My endurance is 10.
So, and without looking it up, I'm pretty sure this is the case. And it's interesting. You can only do this 10 times before you start getting tired and start taking penalties. Okay. But yeah, he also has that rule apply to him. But anyways, and you don't know his endurance. But he's very unlikely to win with your armor, with you using that. If you knock him out, he's just going to go unconscious because he's going to lose his first stat and he's just going to drop to the ground. So unless you get on top of him and murder him, you're not going to kill him. He's just going to get knocked out.
Can I grapple him?
Yeah.
Okay.
But before you do that, and this will be the last check for this, Chapman. You said you wanted to try to tell his friends to, hey,
Books and I are going to try to sound like the voice of reason here.
Yeah.
Like, can you control your buddy here, all of you? Surely.
Well, in that case, is your character name Books? Is that right?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his nickname. It's Zeke, but his nickname is Books.
Books, that's
so
cool.
It would be, yeah, thank you.
All right. All right, Books. Books, you can roll a 2d6.
Okay, let's see. 6.
6. Yeah, no. They don't get involved. They're like, they don't want any of this either. And also, this is all happening really fast. So, yeah, you can swing again if you want.
I don't want to swing at him. What I want to do is I want to do some kind of self-defense move that I learned in the Navy. And I'm just going to grab him and just kind of do a wrestling takedown and just push him on the ground.
What's your strength again?
Strength is 8.
Okay. Let's see. Roll 2d6.
Okay.
Oh no, he got a 12.
I have a 6,
You
7,
gotta
8.
get it. Okay, he got a 12. He takes you and throws you across the room. You take 3 points of damage to your endurance.
Okay. Okay, so I'm prone.
Yeah, you could make it back up before he does anything else, though. You're
Okay, I'm
now
gonna
at
punch him
short
in the-
range. Okay,
I'm
go
going to
ahead.
punch him in the face.
You can do that.
Well, can I try to grab the guy from behind to make him an easier target? Hopefully, give a better chance of this punch landing.
I will say
Up
that
to
you
you.
can. I will say that you can do that. However, it will almost and certainly get the whole thing to break out into a brawl with everybody else involved.
I wouldn't want to do that. I hope that I put this down as soon as we can.
Yeah, like you're trying to talk to his friends. Hey, get him to stop. Blah 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 blah. You're talking to him. This is all happening in a matter of seconds, by the way, right?
Gotcha.
And so is books, right? You said that. You said you're trying to talk to him, and then meanwhile, you punch him. He takes a hit, and then you all miss, and then you try to grapple him. He takes you and judos you across a bench, and the bench partially breaks, and you fall off. And then you get up, and you said you're going to punch him. You can try to punch him.
Okay. I have a 4, 5, 6.
A 6, I think that misses. I think you got to get a 7. Yeah, now he's going to try to hit you. He's got to go really high. 10 minus 4 is 6, so that also misses.
Did he use the part of the bench that broke off as a weapon?
Yes, absolutely. If you want, you might kill him though because it's going to be higher damage.
It's your call.
That's getting into. All he's got to do is get one hit in basically to knock him out. But if
I
you
want
wanted
to
to
shout
pick
a
that up-
reminder to Dex. My first lesson to you on this crew. We get it. Bar fights are fun. Prison fights are not fun. We're in this for fun.
Yeah, I would call that a club. It does 2 die damage if you use it, and at close range you get a +1. I've messed up one of the bonuses, but it doesn't matter. But you get a +1, and actually if you back up you get a +2, and you do 2 die damage if you rip off part of the bench and start beating him with it. But it might kill him or severely wound him. It's possible. Like if you get a 12, so.
I think you should just go for another punch, but that's my 2 cents.
Okay, I thought maybe books wanted to hit him.
Oh, if
Oh, no,
if
I'm not
anybody.
kidding.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm
Sorry.
not getting involved. Yeah, we don't want to start a riot. So I was just saying, I was just curious if you could use that to hit him, which it sounds like you could, but it's totally your call on that.
Okay, I go look that way. I go, look over there.
You trying to trick him?
Yeah, I'm trying to trick him to distract him.
I love it. He doesn't. He's not fooled.
Okay.
You like
All
go
right,
like that,
punch
and
him
then
again.
he's just like, yeah, and he tries to punch you again.
I got a 7.
A 7. Now, and I messed this up. You're at close range because you're punching. So punching at close range against no armor is actually a +3. I'm sorry, but I wasn't giving him these bonuses either. So,
Okay.
so you get a 10, which does 1 die damage because you got to get an 8.
Okay. 2.
A 2. Okay. Let's see here. I forgot what he took. So, I think he had 7. That does it. He goes unconscious.
Okay.
Nice.
So well, is somebody else turn now because I took my turn with the battle?
No, go ahead.
I
What
mean-
were we gonna do?
I was just going to say, like, I'm going to go over and, like, talk to his buddies and stuff and, like, say, like, look, I'm sorry I had to punch your guy out, but he was, like, being a jerk and everything, and I didn't want to,
Yeah.
fool in with my friends here, and so, like, can we just, like, call truce?
Yeah, with all of you all kind of doing that and everything, all of them are like, hey, no, no trouble. Like, hey, let's just take it easy. He was out of control. Hell, he's part of why we're in this mess to begin with. You saw how he acted. You saw that. And everybody's like, yeah. Now they're like turning on their friend even, So, and meanwhile, your merchant friend is just like, oh, I'm so glad that I paid for these guys.
First of all, Dex, I owe you a drink. As soon as we could get the chance, but yes, I make sure to take advantage of this crucial moment to lay the perfect impression on our merchant. Put an arm around his shoulder and be like, "Don't worry." Like I reassured you before, you're in with the right crowd.
All right, now we're almost out of time.
We don't start fights, but we finish them.
But I want to resolve something really quick. This happens on the next day. You're called in to speak with the attorney again, and at this time he actually has more people with him. And the guard leaves the room and locks the door and leaves.
Oh my God.
And he says, I've reviewed your case, and it's clear that you're innocent. I mean, you got caught up in another one of these issues with the Kafir-Canuck, and I mean, this station has just had a rash of that. It's not your fault. He got you drunk on purpose. I'm sure that we can do an innocence plea based on your quality of service and heroism in your past, and then he pushes a file and he opens it, and it's got like all of your information in it.
Well, I trust his expert legal counsel. I mean, that's what I've been saying all along, but he's the one who can argue it in court.
I work for a group of people. We have an interest in the subsector. But the Kafir-Canuck, they just don't have the Imperium's best interests at heart, I believe. He pushes another file, and it's got a logo, and it says McClellan Industries. And he says, now, you can leave the station, and it would be terrible to take on all these fees. 25,000 credits. I heard what happened to your ship. It's terrible news. Terrible thing that could happen to a group of travelers. But if you leave, I really think it's going to be hard to do business here in the future. But if we could get an affidavit about what happened in that bar with those Vargar, I'm sure we can really improve things around here. I mean, you're good citizens, right?
I look over at the other two. Yeah, absolutely. Outstanding. Love my community. Happy to serve.
I'm with the captain. Whatever the captain decides at this point is fine with me.
So basically, a corporation. This attorney is a corporate goon. He works for like a megacorp, and having this other independent operator in here, they see an opportunity to basically squash them.
I don't have anything against the Vargar as a people, but I'm not particularly loyal to their corporate, factionalism or anything, and work is work. If this guy, wants to try to carve out some piece of the action in this here local market, we can help him with that. Sure. I mean, I don't think this has to be anything about humans and Vargar at all. It's just,
So, can you explain to me the situation again? I'm not sure I quite understood.
I rolled a result basically that you were used. This guy, this merchant, he was a plant. He's an industry plant. He was put in the cell with you to get information. They got all your information now, and they're in a position to basically cancel any licenses for you to be able to work as a traveler in Startown Liberty. Alternately, if you sign an affidavit saying it was the Vargur's fault, you can walk away, and they'll pay all the fees, and the Vargur will eat the whole cost. But not just the Vargur, but they'll try to raise this up to be an issue with their company, the Kafirkanok.
Okay, so basically what happened...
You're in a power play that's going on right now.
We're pawns, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Could we get anything else out of this? Like, realizing what's going on, and not to tempt it too much, but could we say, basically, like, okay, we get what you're playing here. Why don't you throw in 10,000 credits for all of us, and we'll play it your way.
Ooh, nice.
I don't know if we want to overplay. I don't know if we want to overplay our hand here, but yeah, I mean, whatever you want to write on that affidavit for us to sign, the juicier it is. And what exactly the circumstances of this incident were.
I don't think. I actually think that's a good idea because they're taking advantage of us, right? So.
Yeah, let me frame the option for you so that you can choose. Okay. You can do that, and you could pick. So if you say I want 10,000 credits on top, you could do that. It's a 2d6 roll, which is a bell curve, right? So the median answer is no. A 12 is like, hey, I like how you think. Maybe we can work together in the future. And here's 10,000 credits. A snake eyes would be, you know what? Actually, I think maybe we don't like Vargur sympathizers around here. Like, so that's the gamble that you're taking.
I want to defer to my crew. I want to know what you guys think. My personal vote is to just take this deal they're offering totally straight, just sign the affidavit, clear our names, and by next session we have a functionally rather clean slate in most of the ways that are going to matter when it comes time to talk to our other crewmates about what we did during this week.
Okay, but the Vargur are going to be after us, plus their company, maybe.
Not necessarily, right?
Not necessarily.
From my understanding, I agree, Chapman. I think I was curious just to see if we could get anything out of it, but I'd rather not take that risk because that would totally suck if we go through all this and then we're kind of back at square one.
Yeah, we're not going to get another deal this good, so.
Right, I agree, and I'm pretty sure that's a good point, Dex. If we do this, are the Vargur gonna hate us now? I mean, are they our enemies?
The crew, you don't know, because you don't know what they're being told or what's happening to them. They may never space again. They may be just fired or sent home, or you don't know what's going to happen. The company, yes. The company, the Kafirkanok, know that you signed legal affidavits blaming them for everything that happened at Startown Liberty and getting their trade deal ruined.
Well, that's the Kafirkanok. We don't have to have any problems with Vargur in general, but this one company, I mean, we're going to make enemies eventually.
Yeah,
we have an enemy. I think the Kafirkanok is a good enemy.
Yeah, I agree. I think we go for it.
So he smiles and he puts the affidavits out for you all to sign. They're already made for you, and he says, "It's good doing business with you. It's good to improve things around here for the citizens of the Imperium as well, I think." And then he collects the affidavits. They walk out of the room, and the door is just left open for you to just walk out.
Wow. All right, boys.
Yeah, when you walk out, you walk by, and you can see the three Vargur just left in there with the merchant as well left inside, and with the workers and stuff, and you make it back out into the streets of Startown Liberty.
I wanna I want to ask this merchant guy if he wouldn't be against sticking in with us.
It's like a soundproof thing, though. You know, like you're over here, and like you left this office, and then you got like them over there peering from a one-way sound thing. You know, so yeah, no, I don't think it would be you can't just like walk up and chat with them at this point.
Yeah. All right, don't worry about it.
But
then.
they see you, you know, and then all right, so you walk back out into the sickly smelling combo of fried foods and candy and alcohol and all the sins that cover the streets of Startown Liberty, and you made it out. You made it in jail, and you made it out with -0 credits, maybe a new enemy, and maybe some people interested in you, and that's the end of the adventure for the night.